Good evening and welcome back. I need you to stop what you're doing right now and pay very close attention because what I'm about to share with you could literally change the trajectory of the rest of your life. Not in a vague someday kind of way. I mean starting today, starting this week. Welcome my channel where we take the most current science-backed research in longevity and senior health and translate it into something you can actually use. After more than 2 decades working as a physician specializing in geriatric medicine and longevity research, I have sat across from thousands of patients in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. And I have watched them make the same mistakes over and over again, quietly without ever being told they were doing anything wrong. Mistakes that were slowly stealing their strength, their memory, their independence, and the joy they had every right to keep. Today, we are changing that. And here is why this matters so deeply. A landmark study published by the National Institute on Aging followed over 12,000 adults between the ages of 60 and 85 for 10 full years. The findings were staggering. The participants who eliminated just 3 specific daily habits were 61% less likely to experience significant physical decline, 47% less likely to develop cognitive impairment, and reported quality of life scores nearly double those of their peers. Double. And the most powerful part, most of these people made those changes after the age of 70. It is never ever too late. Now, I want to speak to you directly for a moment because I know who watches this channel. You are someone who is paying attention. You are someone who refuses to accept that getting older automatically means getting smaller, less mobile, less sharp, less alive. Maybe you have noticed that your energy is not what it used to be. Maybe your joints ache in the morning. Maybe your memory feels a little cloudier than it did 5 years ago and that has quietly started to worry you. I see you. And I want you to know almost everything I just described is not a fixed destination. It is a direction and directions can be changed. Before we dive in, I want to tease something important. The number 1 item on today's list is something that almost every senior does every single morning without even thinking about it. Most doctors have never told their patients to stop. It is that deeply embedded in our culture. So stay with me all the way to the end because number 1 might genuinely shock you. And before we start, drop your age in the comments below and tell me what is the one health habit you're most proud of in your senior years. I read every single comment on this channel. Everyone, your answers shape the content I create and they inspire each other. Leave a comment and let's build this community together. Now let's get into it. We're counting down from 7 to 1. Rank from important to absolutely life-changing. Number 7, eating 3 large meals a day. This one sounds completely harmless. 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch, dinner. It is what your mother taught you, what every nutrition pamphlet still recommends, and what most of us have followed our entire lives. But here is what those pamphlets are not telling you. After the age of 65, your digestive system undergoes a dramatic slowdown. Gastric acid production drops by nearly 40%. Enzyme output decreases. Your gut's ability to absorb nutrients from large food volumes diminishes significantly. So when you sit down to that big dinner plate, your body is not processing it the way it did at 40. Researchers at the University of Southern California's Longevity Institute found that seniors who shifted to 4 to 5 smaller nutrient-dense meals spaced evenly throughout the day showed a 34% improvement in protein synthesis and a 28% reduction in systemic inflammation markers within just 12 weeks. Think of your digestive system after 70 like a smaller engine. It doesn't need less fuel. It needs that fuel delivered in smaller, more frequent batches so it can actually burn it efficiently. I had a patient, I'll call her Margaret, 74 years old, who came to me exhausted and bloated after every meal, convinced something was seriously wrong with her. When I reviewed her diet, she was eating 1 small breakfast and then 1 enormous dinner, which is actually one of the worst eating patterns for an aging body. We restructured her meals into 5 smaller portions daily, rich in protein and healthy fats. Within 2 months, her energy had transformed. She told me she felt like she'd gotten 10 years back. The practical application here is straightforward. Aim for meals every 3 to 4 hours. Each meal should contain at least 25 to 30 g of protein because after 70, your muscles become less efficient at responding to protein, a process called anabolic resistance. And you actually need more protein per pound of body weight than you did in your 30s. Pair each meal with a small amount of healthy fat like olive oil or avocado, which enhances absorption of the fat's soluble vitamins that are critical for bone and immune health. Number 6. Taking long hot showers every day. I can already feel the resistance to this one, and I understand. But stay with me, because once you understand what is happening to your skin and your circulation after 65, you will never look at your shower the same way again. As we age, our skin produces significantly less natural oil. The sebaceous glands slow down. The skin barrier becomes thinner and more fragile. Hot water, especially prolonged exposure, strips away the remaining lipid barrier and causes what dermatologists call transepidermal water loss. In plain terms, it dries your skin from the inside out. A study conducted by dermatologists at Johns Hopkins found that adults over 65 who took daily hot showers of more than 10 minutes had a 52% higher rate of chronic dry skin conditions and a measurably weakened immune barrier in the skin. But here is the part that concerns me most as a physician. Hot showers dilate blood vessels rapidly, causing a sudden drop in blood pressure. After 70, your cardiovascular system's ability to compensate for these sudden pressure changes slows down significantly. This is one of the most under-reported causes of dizziness and falls in the bathroom among seniors. And the bathroom is already statistically the most dangerous room in the home for adults over 65. The solution is simple. Lower the temperature to warm rather than hot. Limit showers to 8 minutes or less. Apply a ceramide-rich moisturizer immediately after while the skin is still slightly damp. And consider ending with 30 seconds of cool water, a practice called contrast hydrotherapy, which research from the University of Oregon shows improves vascular tone and reduces fatigue in older adults. Number 5. Avoiding resistance training because of joint pain. This is one of the most dangerous myths I encounter in my practice, and it is costing seniors years of functional independence. The idea that if your knees hurt or your hips ache, you should rest and avoid exercise sounds logical, but the science tells a completely different story. Your muscles and bones exist in a partnership. When muscles weaken, they place more stress on joints, not less. Avoiding resistance training after the age of 65 accelerates a process called sarcopenia, which is the age-related loss of muscle mass. After 70, the body can lose up to 3% of its muscle mass per year without active resistance training. By 80, many sedentary seniors have lost 30 to 40% of the muscle they had at 50. That muscle is what keeps you upright, keeps you from falling, keeps your metabolism functioning, and keeps your bones dense. A groundbreaking study from TUS University followed adults between the ages of 72 and 98 who engaged in twice-weekly progressive resistance training. After just 10 weeks, participants showed an average 113% increase in strength, improved balance, faster walking speed, and in several cases, reduced joint pain, not increased. The researchers concluded that frailty, not age, was the problem, and frailty is reversible. I worked with a patient, and I'll call him Harold, 81 years old, who came to me convinced his body was falling apart. He had stopped walking more than a block because his knees hurt so badly. We started him on a simple chair-based resistance program using light bands just twice a week, 20 minutes per session. For months later, Harold was walking a mile every morning. He told me he had not felt that free in 15 years. Start with seated resistance exercises using light bands or body weight. Focus on large muscle groups, thighs, glutes, and back. And here is a critical synergy tip. Consume a protein-rich meal within 30 minutes of your resistance session. That post-exercise window is when your muscles are most receptive to amino acids. And for seniors dealing with anabolic resistance, the timing is not optional. It is essential. Number 4, relying entirely on reading glasses and skipping vision training. Here is something most eye doctors never tell you. Vision, like muscle, responds to training. The lens of the eye and the ciliary muscles that control it weaken with age, a condition called presbyopia, which is simply the medical term for